Uh, um, I started off my draft with like a piano. So first of all, it was like an audio in MIDI. Then I changed it into audio. So beforehand, it sounded like this. Before I put all of this processing, so it sounded like this. Really slow, kind of like loads of energy to it, whatever. And then I added like a melody on top of that. Something simple to just keep it going, as like the main piano had, as the main piano played it with kind of like a melody to it. So I was just adding like a counter melody to counter the main melody. This worked very well, as it's kind of like a call and response kind of thing going on. And yeah, that's how the track started. And then the way I developed it was I went to the piano, then I went on Effectrix and kind of I put this starter thing and crash them to just make it interesting. I was just making something at random and this is what I came up with. Sounds pretty interesting. Then after that, I went on to create like a bass. The face bass I made was a Trillium bass, and I went for like a synth bass, like a mellow-ish bass, like I think a Moog-like bass. That's what I went with first. Yikes. Yeah. So if you could hear. And this bass was accomplished by like a sub. And these are how I made the first like 8 bars of the song. So it started off with just this bass and piano, just like then after that the bass comes in. And then I thought I needed some rhythm to the song, some rhythm section. Then I added like the drums, but I kept the drums pretty simple because in my research I found that like R&B has quite simple drum section. Like there's not a lot of happening in it, especially in like modern contemporary R&B. It's a lot of like simple beat, but with like interesting vocal performance and lyrical content to it. So the kick is kind of this pattern going, and then is so nothing really interesting is happening, and then there's like a hi-hat, and I added kind of the hi-hat to give it like a house feel, where house like there's like boom cuts up like whatever, and kind of the syncopation. Yeah, so the syncopation in house music, where you have the kick and snare and the hi-hat, and the syncopation of the hi-hat is what I wanted to add to the drum, as there wasn't a lot of interest happening in the drum section. And then all these together, kind of simplistic but also interesting, not something too boring. Then after that I added some percussion, and I took some sample loops, and then I cut them up and stretched them up. So the first sample I worked on was this sample. So I took the original, then I cut it up into bits, and then there's the kind of rhythm I came up with. Then I had a clap loop. And then again, this is just like adding more texture and rhythms to the song. Just make it interesting, because again, I'm keeping it simple as I'm gonna be looking for vocal performance. Yeah, so that was the start of the track, and that's how I developed it into what it is. So what I did then was create a structure. So I started off with bongos as the intro to the song, and then I went to the piano. Then after that, the drum gets introduced with a lead melody countering the piano melody. Then as soon as that, again build it up and introduce the bass. I kind of use this bit as the chorus, as when the bass hits, it's kind of like a crescendo and kind of fits the contemporary R&B structure of music, where there's kind of like a build up and then crescendo, or like a drop, whatever. A drop is kind of used in EDM, but like the same sentiment. Then after that, I carried on with the main and then nothing happened, and then I kind of had a breakdown before the second verse here. This was again to just make it interesting. Then back into the chorus. Yeah, that's how I created this track. Thank you.